Hi children, good morning and welcome back. In our previous video, we were discussing My Grandmother's House by Kamala Suraya. Today in this class, we are moving on to the textual activities from the chapter My Grandmother's House. Okay. First of all, we have to complete some textual questions. That woman died. Who is the woman referred to here? How is she related to the poet? It is the grandmother, isn't it? So, she is the poet's grandmother. What happened to the house after the death of grandmother? The house withdrew into silence, isn't it? The house withdrew into silence and snakes moved among books. Third question. To lie behind my bedroom door like a brooding dog means that the memories will always remain with the poet. The memories will lie uncared for in a corner. The memories are as important as a dog. Which is the right answer? The memories will always remain with the poet. Okay, so that's the right answer. Now, fourth question. The poet wants to go back to the house in order to peer. Okay, it's given here. In order to peer through blind eyes of windows and to listen to the frozen air. Also, to pick an armful of darkness. Okay, so please complete it. You have to complete it. The fill in the blanks. Okay. Fifth question. Identify the most appropriate meaning for the expression an armful of darkness. It means sad days, darkness of the past, memories of the grandmother's house. Third option is the right answer. Darkness means memories of the grandmother's house. Sixth question. In the last three lines of the poem, the poet thinks of herself as a beggar. What is she begging for? She's begging for love, isn't it? What does she mean by small change? Small change means small amount or small quantity of love. Seventh question. Why are the eyes of the windows described as blind? Why? Because the windows are covered with dust, isn't it? So we can't see anything inside that house, anything through that window. So the eyes of windows are blind. It is also a personification. I think you remember that. Eighth question. The air in the grandmother's house is frozen. Why? Because nobody is living there, isn't it? So there is no movement of air. Nobody is moving, nobody is speaking. So um, it is full of silence. That's why the house is frozen. The air in grandmother's house is frozen. Which words tell you that the poet is talking to someone? What is she talking about? Okay, from this poem, tell me which word gives you the idea that she's speaking to someone? Ah, here it is. You cannot believe, darling, can you? So she's calling someone darling, isn't it? So from this word, you can identify that she's speaking to someone. And about what she's speaking? She's speaking about the love one she received, and now her loveless situation, and now she's begging for love at stranger's door. Okay, this is what she's saying. 10th question. How does the house itself share the grief of grandmother's death? Okay, the house, how does house share it? It is given here. That woman died, and what happened after that? The house withdrew into silence. Snakes moved among books. Okay, so the house withdrew into silence. That's how it show the grief in grandmother's death. I think it is clear. Now we can move on to the activities. Activity 1. The poet thinks of her past. How is her present different from the past? So, in her past, she received love, isn't it? And at her present, she's not receiving love. That is the major difference. Find hints or phrases from the poem which gives you the idea that the house was deserted after the death of the grandmother. Which lines show that the house withdrew into silence, isn't it? That lines shows us. The house withdrew into silence and snakes moved among the books. This line shows that the house was deserted after the death of the grandmother. Activity 2. Look at the phrase blind eyes of windows. Do you think that windows have eyes? Do windows really have eyes, dears? Window is an inanimate object. It is a thing, isn't it? It doesn't have eyes. Aren't eyes a feature of living beings? Yes, of course, only living beings have eyes, isn't it? Is the poet attributing human qualities to windows? How? Yes, of course. The poet is attributing human qualities to windows. So, only human beings have eyes and blind eyes, isn't it? So, the poet says that windows have blind eyes. So, she is actually attributing human qualities to windows. So, here the poet uses personification. Okay, so that is called personification. Personification is a figure of speech where a thing, an idea, or an animal is given human attributes. Okay, here another example is here. The flower danced in the breeze. The flowers danced in the breeze. So you can see flower is an inanimate object, isn't it? Flowers doesn't have life. And dancing is related to human beings. Human beings can dance. It is a quality of human beings, isn't it? So the flowers danced in the breeze. The flowers danced. So a human quality is attributed to the flowers here. So this is also an example of personification. Now pick out another example of personification from the poem. Can you tell me another example of personification? Of course, in this poem you can see in this line, pick an armful of darkness to bring it here to lie behind my bedroom door like a brooding dog. So here you can see, okay, in this line you can see personification. Okay, so darkness is provided human qualities. To pick an armful of darkness, to bring it here to lie behind my bedroom. Who can lie? People can lie, isn't it? People can lie down in order to sleep or anything. Okay, so human beings can lie down. So a human quality is attributed to darkness here. Darkness is an idea. Darkness is an inanimate object. So here human qualities are attributed to darkness. So this is an example of personification. I hope it is clear. Personification. Now moving on to activity 3. My blood turned cold like the moon is an example of simile. Pick out another simile from the poem. So you already know what is a simile, isn't it? Simile is a comparison. My blood turned cold like the moon. So the coldness of moon is compared to the coldness of my blood. Can you pick out another example from the poem? Okay, that is given there. Here, behind my bedroom door, like a brooding dog. Again, like a brooding dog. Okay, so the darkness lie behind her bedroom like a brooding dog. So the darkness lying behind her bedroom is compared with a brooding dog. So you can see there is a simile there. Now children, activity 4, blood turned cold is an instance of a tactile image. You can touch that. It is a sensible image, isn't it? You can feel it. Blood turned cold. You can feel that coldness, frozen condition. Okay. Find out other images from the poem. So you have to find out other imageries from the poem. Okay. So it's given here. Snakes moved among books is a visual imagery. Peered through blind eyes is also a visual imagery. Now listen to the frozen air is an auditory imagery. Okay, listening to frozen air is auditory imagery. Pick an armful of darkness, again visual imagery. Buy now at stranger's door. That is also a visual imagery. Begging at stranger's door. Okay, it is begging at stranger's door. That is a visual imagery. So, children, I think it is clear for you the imagery, then simile, personification. Okay, these are the major things in this poem. My Grandmother's House by Kamala Suraya. So, I will give a short review of today's class. Today, we have discussed the activities from the chapter My Grandmother's House. As a post-learning activity, please read the prose again 3 times. Also complete all textual questions and also activities. So that's all for today, children. Thank you so much.